What's up? This is DSP, and today we're going to talk about a game that a lot of people have been asking me about. A lot of people actually wanted me to do one of these reviews about, simply because I've played the game a lot. I've been a Street Fighter player for nearly 18 years of my life, and a lot of people like my opinions and things. So I think you can probably figure out what it is. So if you haven't, grab your authentic Ryu headbands and your Blanca action figures. Here comes Street Fighter 4, motherfuckers. Wow, Street Fighter 4. For a while, I never thought I'd be sitting here talking about it. We had to wait over 10 years from the release of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike before another official iteration of the Street Fighter franchise would come out. For a while, pro players and fans alike thought that Capcom was just going to spend all their time with spin-off series like Capcom vs. SNK and also the Marvel vs. Capcom series. However, we were saved, luckily, and Street Fighter 4 was released earlier this year in 2009. What I'd like to talk about a little bit is the classic style that was retained. I mean, you got your regular 6-button layout, one-on-one gameplay, nothing really much has changed, which is very cool. But the other striking thing about this game is the art style. The ink blots that are in a lot of the special moves, a lot of the focus attacks, and also between matches in the artwork of the game itself and also in the intro is pretty unique. And this is very good for us because a lot of people were afraid that this game was going to end up looking like the Street Fighter EX series, which was actually the first foray of the Street Fighter series into 3D. This series was actually made by a company named Eureka, who had purchased the license to use Street Fighter characters in the game. However, the game was not developed by Capcom. And to be fair, the game wasn't that bad, and there were many sequels that spawned from it. However, it just didn't feel like Street Fighter, and a lot of the hardcore Street Fighter people were just saying, man, I really wish we could have a real 3D Street Fighter game. And eventually one was released, so we were pretty lucky, and overall, I think most people are pretty satisfied with Street Fighter 4 for a bunch of reasons. Yes, my little Blanca. Who's my cute Blanca? That's right, you are. The things that I like about Street Fighter 4. Well, first of all, I really like the fact that the original cast is back in the game. When Street Fighter 3 came out, a lot of people were very disappointed that only Ryu and Ken were the returning characters. And even though new characters are good to throw into the mix, you always have that connection with the first game that really caught your eye. And in the case of the Street Fighter series, for the majority of people who've been around the block, it was Street Fighter 2 and all the iterations afterwards. What I really do like is that they've changed some things, but also kind of retain those original styles of these characters, or in some cases these characters are actually amalgamations of the different versions that they've come out with through different series over the years. I do like the fact that the gameplay is classic, and what I mean by that is you got your standard 6-button layout. They didn't change up the buttons or anything like they did with the Capcom vs. SNK or the Marvel vs. Capcom series. You got your supers, then you've got an Ultra, which is basically a more built-up super, special moves, you know, all the basics are there. They didn't basically completely change anything in the series. And for people like me who've been playing Street Fighter for a long time, it makes me feel good because it's like I have a base to start from. And going along with that, I really like how the game is almost a combination of all the previous Street Fighter iterations, and it's almost like they tried to take some of the best parts from each game. I can tell you right now, there's some combos that I do in Street Fighter 4 that worked in Super Turbo, and Super Turbo is my favorite game of the entire Street Fighter series. So for me to be able to pull off some of those combos and moves and the same kind of strategies in a brand new game is pretty cool, and it lets me feel at home and welcome. But at the same time, there's a lot of new things that they've thrown in. You've got the focus attacks and dash canceling, so they kept it fresh while still keeping that original feel of the Street Fighter 2 series, and that's really what I think is what makes Street Fighter 4 a really good and complete game. But of course, there's got to be something that I don't like about Street Fighter 4, and being that I have been playing Street Fighter for such a long time, I think a lot of people would be more interested in what I don't like than what I really like. The biggest one, well, I don't want to say the biggest one, but the biggest gripe for pro players is the inputs. And let me explain what I mean. Okay, so if you can excuse my guerrilla style photography here, what I want to show you is what I mean when I'm complaining about these input shortcuts that they put into Street Fighter 4. Now, the major gripe of all of the pro players that have been playing is that it does not take any skill or execution whatsoever to get a reversal dragon punch or any of those moves that have a dragon punch style motion. And what I mean is, just to show you when you get your hands here, you start with towards, you go to down, and then down towards plus punch. So the motion would be like that, plus punch. Now in a match, if someone's jumping at you, you know, you have to do that on reaction. That's not easy. I mean, it's a full motion. It's not like just a tap. It's not like one roll. It's a forward and then a roll. So it's multiple motions that you're actually doing at once. Well, guess what they did in this game? They made it so easy to do special moves that basically you can do them just by mashing. And what I mean by that is, let me show you. If you get in here and you don't ever, first of all, have to tap forward. That's not even necessary to do a dragon punch. You don't have to tap down. All you need to do is go from down forward. You want to not start from down forward, but just slightly under down forward. So right about here, see, it's about equal distance between down forward and down. If you double tap twice and press punch, you will get a dragon punch. I'm not kidding you. So all those reversal uppercuts that you see with Ryu, with Ken, with Sagat, and they all, wow, that guy was clutch. You know, he did a reversal uppercut right in the middle of my hit string. No, he didn't. You want to know what he was doing? I'll show you. Just praying that was going to bust through and that your timing would be off and his uppercut will come out super quick and bust through your hit string. In addition to that, they've given the reversal window a huge, big upgrade, meaning there's way more time to get a reversal out in Street Fighter 4 than there ever has been in any Street Fighter game before. So literally, if you're getting attacked and you have a character with a reversal dragon punch, just do this! Ah! And half the time it comes out. And when you pair that with characters like Sagat or Ryu or other characters who can cancel their uppercuts into other moves, juggles, and ultras, that's really what the major gripe is right now in the community. They wish that they would take out shortcuts like that and just go back to the old hardcore control style that everyone's always used to.